Coming up in today's video, why is my voice funny? Some glowy stuff, some more glowy stuff, some chromy stuff, some more glowy stuff. It's not all glowy, I promise. Some more glowy stuff. A weird disc thing, what is it for? Some sheer chroming, some thread, because thread. Some smushing of some stuff and some big weird stuff. Hello gang. Hello friends. Hello gang friends. Welcome back. Let's do some crazy stuff today. Thanks for being here with me today. I stumbled across some Met Gala nails the other day and thought these are a bit fucking weird. Let's recreate them. Oh, I got a new phone case. Just thought I may as well show you. You know, you want to show your friends? Got a matching pop socket with it as well. So we're going to start with Lisa, who is, I'm not entirely sure who she is. Don't know who half of these people are, but that's fine. And look at these crazy Louis Vuitton themed nails. I want to make them. Not all of them. That would be ridiculous. Let's do one. So we're going to start with, am I shouting? I'm really sorry. We're going to start with Super Cateye from Madame Glam. This cateye is bananas. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Look at the freaking glow. And you can put stuff over it, like jellies to change the color of it. You can mix it with stuff. It's just if you like cateye, this needs to be in your kit. So we're going to bring out the zhuzh, which I'm faffing around with a bit here, but I'll show you how I normally do it without faffing on this second coat. So we've cured the first. We're going to paint the nail. And then I turn it upside down, and I mean, you don't have to turn it upside down. You can do it to the other side. I'm a lefty. Maybe that's the thing. And I bring out as much of the glow as possible. When you think that's good, keep going until you are blown away by it, like that. And then just a quick zoop down the other side, because it's going to start to bring everything from that other side across. So you stop it before it brings it all the way across, and you get this full zhuzh. Yeah? Okay. And then we've cured that, and we're taking, wasn't looking, Legacy, which is a super bright red, also from Madame Glam. We're going to do a little Frenchie, but make the tip of it, as if anyone's going to be recreating these. I mean, I am. Make the tip of it enough to be able to draw a small circle, a little Louis Vuitton logo in it. So if you think you need more room, just make a bigger tip. You can get, before we continue, you can get a whopping 30% off at Madame Glam using the link in the description and the code MISSJO30. Links for a bunch of places in the description, all with money off codes, so always check them out. Save them so that when you buy nail stuffs, you can get some money off. And look at that! Wasn't expecting to like this nail at all. Have fallen in love with it. Look at the see, it's like do subtle, wow, you know, pow. And I like that. So we cured the tip, and now we're going to try and do a circle. I'll tell you a little story about this circle in a minute. It's not an exciting story, but it's a story nonetheless. Then we've done a dot in the middle, and then we're going to cut off little right angles, little sort of quarters on each of the, in quotes, sides, top sides, like 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock of the circle, and curve out towards the outside of the circle. This not going to be an easy one to explain. I'll just let you look, and I'll just be quiet. I'll go and watch some tennis for a while. You can just watch. So cutting those off. Was that the first one I did? I don't think that, I'm not sure, but I did this. So we don't, right, okay. Sort yourself out, woman. That's what we're going for. Hard to see painting in black. Always a bit of a mystery as to what it's going to look like in the end. So we're going to do the same in white, but we're going to do it in a square on its side, a diamond, and we're going to cure the outline before we carry on. Then we'll do a dot in the middle and we'll cure that as well, because the next bit's the bit where you might want to redo it. So just cure everything that you're okay with up until that point. So the circle is not the first circle I did, because I did it and thought, wow, that looks exactly how I want it to look. Went to put it in the lamp, and for some reason, I'm curving out here, just sort of not a major curve, so you could draw it with a slight curve in the first place, but just bringing it at a very mild curve, because, you know, we've done a straight line, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and just making the points of them a bit more pointy, yeah, a bit more wispy. Yeah, I went to put the first circle in the lamp and just convinced myself that there's absolutely no way I could have got it how I want it on a first attempt. Even though I looked at it and thought, no, I like that. No, you'll do it better if you try again. So I wiped it off and could not get the same. Could not get it as nice as the first one again. But it will do. So we've done our dot and we're going to cure that. So I'm going to curve this bit here at the point and then bring down. So doing it a bit differently this way. Bring down, but don't bring those lines all the way down to the dot, because around the dot is negative space. So we're just going to repeat that on each, in each sort of quarter. We want a straight, we almost want a negative space cross in the middle, or a plus, an and sign, plus sign, that curves at the top. That's it. That's what we want. So you can go about that however you want. There's a finite number of ways, probably like 3, but then just curve out the tops. That will suffice. And then old genius over here thought, let's do a smaller one. Let's do another one of these fiddly things. But I like fiddly things like this because they're not difficult. No, it's not the Sistine Chapel, but it's fiddly and small, and you know you can do it, but you might have to do it like 17 times to get it exactly how you want it, or you might get it right first time and then wipe it off. So we've done another little one of those. Did I put a dot in there? Maybe. I'm going to take the 3D Pearl Sculpting Gel from Madame Glam. I'm using this one because I thought I want to paint this white, so I thought, well, we'll give it a whitish background. I still should stop using it for things that I'm not leaving plain like that, because it's so pretty. I'd love it if they came out with loads of different colours of this. I'm going to send an email. I'm going to send an email with a list of things that I want them to make. But I think some more modelling things would be good. So I flattened this with a heavy bit of glass that I believe is a palette. And then you see as I pushed down it got big, but then as I lifted the glass off it shrunk a bit where it sucked it all back up. So press down, make it bigger than you want. And then I'm using a dotting tool, getting confused, to make this little Louis Vuitton shape. But then I realised I'd made them a bit pointy towards the centre, these indents. So I'm just widening that because it's the same thickness. Our plus sign is the same thickness from top to bottom, and then just curves at the ends. So just prodding around with a dotting tool. Can't really see what I'm doing. You know, some things you just can't really make it out because it's shiny, or it's this or it's that. So just hoping for the best, really. And then curing it, and I'm going to smooth out some, or try and even out the sides a bit, the sides of the circle. So when if you are doing that, don't do any straight files. Make sure you're constantly curving your wrist when you're filing, or curving, you know, your hand, or at least if you're holding the file still, be twisting the object that you're filing. Yeah, I don't know whether this really needs to be that much of an instructional video. I don't feel like some of them are nice, like wearable. Most of them, not so much. But we're going to paint that with 2 coats of white gel paint. And then I'm taking the Madame Glam Art Gel, which is a newish product, and I sense I'm going to get through really quickly because I'm just using it for everything. Embossing, yeah. Sticking gems down, yeah. What else? Everything, those two things. But I have been using it a lot. So we're going to plonk that on there. Make sure it's the right way up. And cure. Realised I hadn't top coated. That's fine. We will top coat now. And then we will add some more bits of stuff. Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to like this. I thought, oh, those are ridiculous. Who's wearing those? And then, I don't know, there's something about it that I think is really cool. So we will use a bit more of the art gel to pop a caviar bead in here, a little gold one. And then she had some pearls and gold bits. What do I put next to this? Just scattered around. So we're going to do that. I kind of doing one of the nails from the set, but also just adding in little bits from other nails of the same set. So we're going to plonk, I think, some caviar beads here. And then because they're just loose and out in the open, you know, naked and afraid, which is a program, isn't it? I think. Never seen it. Doesn't sound appealing. And then we're going to cover these with the art gel as well. Seal them in there. Make sure that what we're putting on top of them here is almost sort of, imagine pouring some honey on a ball. That you want it to drip all the way down the sides and touch the surface of the plate of the nail, just to really seal them in. And I should have done it on the one in the little white thing, but I forgot. So then that's it. And I don't know, I love it. What do you think? Let's have a look at it. Look at that silver. I think that's what does it for me. It's the cateye in the background, but I like the colour combo. So that's it next to a picture of the actual nails. What do you think? How did I do? Rate me out of 10. But be nice or be mean. You know, I'm not overly sensitive. So that's that one. And now we're doing Sydney Sweeney. Oh, did I say who the other person was? Someone called Lisa? Oh yeah, I did, because I said I don't know who she is. So these aren't wild or crazy, but they're so pretty, so let's do them. I'm going to file this into a little bit more rounded or narrow. I didn't do it into a full point because I picked these tips out and thought, oh, I've got lots of the same size tip. That's what we want to do. And they were coffin, and everyone's got bloody almond nails, so I had to file most of them. So the shape's a bit off because we've tried to get an almond from a coffin, which is doable, but my filing isn't going to be as neat or perfect as an actual almond nail. Right, we've done a couple of coats of Blush Rush, and we're going to mix these two, Rose something and Crispy something. Wasn't looking. Because I thought they're both, they could both, you know when you have two colours and you think they're both perfect for the same cut for a match, which doesn't make sense. So I thought, well, I'll just mix them together. It solves problems and saves me from having to make a decision. So we're going to do a French in this little mix. Do you know what else I haven't seen? Because it doesn't, well, no, I have seen it actually, but only the once. What is it called? Naked Attraction. Oh my word, do you have it where you are? It's this program over here, and people are like in these glass boxes. Oh, look at the zhuzh on this. Oh, it's so pretty. And they're completely naked, and then someone comes out and they work from the foot up, and they reveal a bit of each person step by step, and the person votes off who they don't want. So at one point, yes, you are just staring at somebody's bits and discussing them in detail. I'm not a prude, but no thank you. Doesn't appeal. Gross. Why am I talking about naked people? Naked and Afraid, that was it. Right, so we're matting. We're using the Vuitton Teflon mat because we're going to chrome these bits and we don't want it to stick anywhere else. There are plenty of ways to achieve not sticking to the background. You know, give it a wipe and a buff use a velvet that maybe you've tested and chrome doesn't stick to it. But I have this, so I'll use this. And then we're taking white gel paint. We're doing a wiggly French, so don't worry too much about your initial smile line because we're hiding it with wiggles anyway. And this bit here, just little wiggles with the hand. And probably should have left it like that because hers is a bit like that, but got carried away. I wanted to do more. We'll do our own little take on it, which will be very similar, you know, thinking outside but pushed right up against the box. And then I think I add a little bit more as well because I was just enjoying myself. A moment of intentionally not neat or perfect lines. It's like a little holiday for your brain and your hands during nail art. So I'm going to take the Magician series palette from Vetsy. I always say it's from Vetsy because I'm pretty sure it's from Vetsy. But is it? Actually, no, I did. I Googled it once just to make sure I was telling you the right thing. And it is. So we're going to chrome over this. Then I'm going to turn my spongy thing, applicator, over. That's got less product on because I use it just for doing this. Just going over the background a bit to pick up. It picks up any bits of chrome. And then we will top. And then we're done. I think her background, her nail bed area is a bit more pink, but I think a few of these I colour matched by, oh, isn't that so pretty? Yeah, and easy. Yeah, her back area, her nail bed is a bit more pink. It did match in real life, but on camera, no. Now we have someone called Chappell Roan, I believe, even though she spells it Chappell, with these that have some silver chrome and then some like little wingy bits on the side. And only when I was painting it did I realise what it was. So we're going to take Rodeo Drive, which again, when I looked at the polish next to the picture on my phone, perfect match. But when the camera sees it, not perfect match. So we're going to do a little V at the top and we will fill that in. We're going to do some colour blocking. So you could do the whole nail this colour and then add your other bits on top. But I like to keep it to as fewer layers as possible. You don't want to start building it up so that when you top coat it, you've got all these light lines flying all over the place because it's not level. So then we're going to take this. What was that? Was that Lost in New York? I think. This is from the Wandering New York collection that was all named after Home Alone things. Such a good collection. Did you get it? Oh, do they still do it? They bring out a new collection every month, so they can't keep all of them forever, surely. But this one in particular, great collection of cat eyes. So we're going to what are we going to do? We're going to outline that V and then do this other upwards V at the bottom. It's a bit shallower though, it's not as narrow a V. And fill that in with the Lost in New York. Oh, it's so pretty. And then we're going to bring out the shush, the best bit. So again, bring it all to one side till it's really glowy. There we go. There we go. Come on, woman. And then just to start to pull it over to the other side, and that will spread it out over the nail. What am I doing? I don't know. It's the middle of the afternoon. Normally I do my voiceovers at night time, but Roland Garros is on. So I'm watching a lot of tennis, which means I'm not getting done things that I should be getting done. And then by the time the evening comes, I have to do the stuff that I was meant to do in the day that I didn't do because I was watching tennis. So I didn't get the voiceover done last night. So that's why I can't think of the word nail, because it's the middle of the day and this just feels totally wrong doing a voiceover at this time. Right, we've filled in the bottom with Rodeo Drive as well. And then we're going to Teflon matte again because we're going to chrome some bits. And it's at this point... we're taking white gel paint and there's a diamond shape here, so we're just going to map it out. Kind of unnecessary, but I can convince myself that if I map it out, it will come out better. So we're going to do a little diamond, and then we start to do a bigger diamond towards the bottom of the nail, and that's when I realised it's like a little tuxedo, not a tuxedo, a suit. You know, this bit's the knot of the tie, and the purple cateye is like a little waistcoat. So this bit comes down in a diamond, but it uses the sides of the nail as the side of the diamond, so it comes all the way down to there, and then like that. You see, tie. Why didn't I see that when I was looking at the design? I'm not sure. But we'll fill this in with white gel paint, and then we'll add the bits on the side. And I think I messed up this bit. I probably shouldn't have done white and then what we're going to do, which is silver chrome, because it was too light. It almost didn't look chromy. So I should have maybe used silver gel paint. The Madame Glam silver gel paint's really good. Should have used that for this. But we're taking the scenic route of painting it and then chroming it. So here, these bits here were a little bit curved, just there and there, and then we're going to just do a big C or a curve. It's not quite a C, up to the top of it, and then slice it off at the top as well, and then we can fill that in, just using the other side as a marker as to where I want it to go, which I thought would help me get the purple around the tie in the middle even. And when I looked at it, I thought, yay, it's even. And then when editing, I thought, oh, no, it's not. Never mind. I had a kind of weird to explain, like I wanted to do these as best I can, but at the same time, I was very aware that this is just for fun and it's very unlikely that anyone's going to recreate them. So also don't worry too much about it, you know. Make it perfect, Joseph, but don't worry if it's not. But it should be, but it doesn't matter if it's not, that kind of thing. So we'll fill that in with the white gel paint as well. The Madame Glam gel paints you can chrome on top of because they cure tack free and they take chrome, which has just been a game changer for my chroming life. Oh, and the other side's done, because you don't have to do the colour that you want underneath and then a top coat and then chrome that, or you don't need to try and paint it just in top coat and you can't really see what you're doing because these take chrome. So yeah, I think this is too light of a chrome, putting the silver on the white. If you put silver on black, obviously it's a bit darker, but I think I should have used a chrome gel paint, and I feel like that's what they used for the set. See, it doesn't look overly chrome. It just looks like a really bright whitey silver, but it is chrome. We know it's chrome, so we can rest easy. So I'm going to top these now. You see how we can sort of work on a straightish light line because we haven't got loads of layers on layers on layers. We've just colour blocked. And then I found these crystals that match perfectly with the one in the picture and the pink that we've got. Like it's a pinky purple. It matches perfectly. So I just managed to get it. I don't know if hers was a diamond or a circle, but I thought this is just too perfect. So we managed to get it just so that it has a little bit of a silver border. And that's that one. Yeah, is it me? Is it meant to look like a suit? See, her chrome's a bit darker. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll let you off. Off we go. Okay, next up we have Tems. I put the names on the screen because I don't know who they are. And I wouldn't look at the picture and go, oh, that's so-and-so. So she's got a few different nails. This is the clearest picture I could get. So I'm thinking the middle finger looks like it could have a bit of a cateye vibe. Or was it a chromey vibe? I'm choosing to say it was cateye because cateye is the best. And we will use Magnifique, which is a Madame Glam from those three, you know, that collection, the three Frenchy colours. Oh, we're going to mix Buzz and what was that one? Shamrock something? Shamrock Glow. I'm going to mix them together because I want the Shamrock Glow, but it's not a cateye. But Buzz, also from that Wandering New York collection, is a cateye. So I'm mixing them together, testing whether the cateye is enough to cateye inside the other one, if not adding more. And then taking this, couldn't find the name, Aurora Cateye C something from Vetsy, because I feel like it had a bit of a bluey, greeny shift. It's not a perfect match because I think that one had like a yellowy shift as well, but it will do. So we're going to ombre or fade this up. Fading a dark green into a French pink is don't pick it if it's your first time ombreing, but we're going to use the ombre brush and just press and pat up. So just pressing down and pulling up a bit, using where the bristles are thin at the end, and then where they start to get more compact, line the compact area up with where you want to start pulling from, and just lightly pull it up. And I'm wiping any excess off on my palette there. And then just this bit here, it went from dark to light a bit too harshly. So just trying to fix that. And then we can bring out the zhuzh. Could have done this just with one cat eye, but why not mix 3 together? Or 2 cat eyes and a sparkly, shimmery one. And then we'll bring out the ooh. And didn't like that blend area because, again, dark green to French pink. No. So I'm going to put a tiny bit at the top and then ombre that down just to kind of soften the area where they join. Still not great, but it will do. I think it might have been chrome that she had maybe, because that's sometimes a bit easier to fade up. Oh, and then just putting this on my thumb because I thought, how cool, mixing a cat eye with a non-cat eye and getting a nice little mix of the two. If we can make something cat eye, make it cat eye. If you can make it cat eye, make it cat eye. If you like cat eye. Does anybody not like cat eyes? I'd be very interested to know if you were someone who doesn't like cat eyes. We can still be friends, it's fine. But it would be interesting. Right, we've shiny topped it with the Madame Glam top coat, which is my favourite top coat I've ever used. It's such a nice consistency. And then we're taking the art gel again and we're going to make a bead and then pull it down to the middle. Didn't do a very good job of this. But again, I couldn't really see what I was doing. I was putting clear on shiny and I don't know, and the cat eye glowing, and yeah. I can see better when I'm not filming because I sit differently. I hold it much closer to me. But filming, all of that fluff on me, filming, I couldn't really see what I was doing. So just flash curing each one as we go, getting this little bead and then pulling it to the center. And then we will full cure. I think this one here touched the other one. So I got a cuticle stick and ran it through between them, between the cured one and the not cured one, to kind of scrape some off. And could have left it like that, but I thought let's try and improve on it by, not improve on the design, improve on my, not good job, by adding the same on top. But instead of trying to make this bit that we're adding look like part of the hump from the beginning, we want it to sit on top and look like a new bit on top, instead of trying to blend it in with the underneath one. And I think this helped a little bit to make it look taller, because it is taller, but also define it a little bit and maybe sort of get thinner legs. I'm going to call them legs, the drops and the legs. So the colour's off, but that's my go at that one. Next we have Ego Nwodim. I apologise, Ego. No, I'd never heard of you. She's got buttons on her nails. So we're going to start with black, perfect black, because it's perfect and it's black. Look at that, look at that. One coat. And then we're going to top it. You're going to realise very quickly, you probably already realised, that there's a much easier way to do this nail than what I'm about to show you. Because I'm a massive monster raving knobhead, I decided to make a button. So we're going to take the clear Madame Glam 3D sculpting gel, roll it into a ball, make sure your fingers are clean, wear gloves, I know. Roll it into a ball, and then we're going to smush it in between. I'm going to put it in between a little clear bag, just because it will be easier to peel off the glass than the other one, the Louis Vuitton thing was. I'm going to press down to make it a circle, and I might need to put some pressure to the right a bit, to the left a bit, to try and even out my circle. Cure it, and then I would recommend taking it out the bag or just leaving it on the bag without the thing on top and curing it again. And then we have this almost perfect circle, and we're going to drill some little holes in it. So I'm going to mark out the center and then use those quadrants just as a guide. I'm going to take a little e-file and drill in. If you don't have an e-file, do you have one of those nail piercing tools? You could use one of those. I have one. I broke it the other day doing something non-nail related with it. Or you could smush down your circle and then before curing, push some holes into it, which is what I did with my first attempt at this, and I'll show you. It's pretty tragic, but it was the first time I've ever made a button out of gel. So I'm just going to buff it a bit for where the e-file pushed through the gel, and some gel was sticking out on the other side. It was rough, so just buff that and then just poking out any dusty bits, and we have a button. Now we're going to give it a border, a little like rim, a little trim. So we're going to make a wiggly worm, and this bit I don't do very well. Should maybe have just left the button like that, but just was having fun, you know. As long as you're having fun, I don't think it matters for things to be perfect. If you enjoyed it and you're happy with it, that's all that matters, really, isn't it? I mean, unless a client's paying for something and you've done a really shit job, but I'm sure that's not the case. So what we're going to do here is, I'm going to struggle to cut this off. It was sticking to me. I know, gloves. And then we have this join area which was bugging me. So I want the top of this rim lip to be flat and also to be in line with the outline of the border of the base of the button. So I'm going to faff around with it for a while with this Madame Glam silicone tool. It's nice, it's smaller than the ones you get in that pack that we've all got. But then realised here, right, that I do want it to be a curved one so that when I push out, I'm not going to have any straight bits. So I'm pushing out with that, and then I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol and dip this into it and try and I was adding it by my fingers at first, and then thought just put some in a dish. And then try and use that to move it where I want it and blend it a bit. So I did flatten it a bit more, and that's what we're left with. This is attempt number 1, that I made the holes before curing the circle, so it has more kind of like puffiness inside it where you've pushed a hole through. Outside, so I did them both at the same time. Tragic. Not tragic, but I mean, it just goes to show that a second attempt with some things, not my little Louis Vuitton circles, but my second attempt at the button was definitely an improvement on the first one. So we're going to cover it with red gel paint, and I'm only going to do one on this. She has only got one on each nail, but when I was doing the first one I thought I'll make 2 just to make it a bit more interesting. But then come this time, the third button, let's just do one, because I'm now going to matte it, because it was too light lines wiggly all over the place. Didn't like it. It looked too messy, so I'm going to matte it or velvet it and then stick it on the nail. The reason I didn't do 2 for this second attempt was because, as you've probably guessed, why didn't I just find a button and put it on the nail? What? I only thought of that when I was matte topping that button. What a wally. Just get a button and file the back, like give it a scuff on the back so it's got some kind of, you know, texture. And then do this, stick it on the nail. The nails will be, that'll be done in a second. I mean, it might take you longer to find a nail, find a, what's the word? Button, than actually do this. But I think if look at the state of those. I think if this lady's nail tech has more than my singular brain cell, they probably have just put buttons on it, just stuck buttons on it, actual buttons. But no, we've made one out of gel because, you know, fun. So again, it's not a perfect button. It's much bigger than hers, although some of them look too big for the nail, or bigger than the nail. But it was fun to make. Now we have Tyla. Who is Tyla? I couldn't tell you that much. But these were so cool. And I tried twice, failed both times, because what is that? What is it? They're rounded and they're clear, but they've got a glow of different colours. Some are teeny tiny. We're taking Pearly, which is a really good colour for soap nails, like a sheer soap colour. Yeah, they're completely round. Some of them are teeny tiny, some of them are bigger. They're all glowing, but they're clear. I cannot for the life of me reverse engineer that. I don't know how she's done it. And I googled it and it was like, oh, she used this colour, that colour, this colour, white, and some builder gel or some gel techniques, but I can't figure it out. I've thought of about 7 different ways it could be done. Didn't want to try all 7. This was the first attempt. I'm going to show you 2, but I won't drag it out. We're going to do a French in white, and before we cure it, we're going to add the lines that go up the nail. But I think because that picture as well was such a dark picture, there's like a trend at the moment, isn't it? It's like, here's how you make a nail, and then when they show you the end of it, it's got this like dark filter. What are you doing? It's not the final episode of Game of Thrones. Can we please see what's going on? But yeah, so we're going to add some lines on this. There's one down the center and then one either side. And then we're going to do something that is nothing like that nail, but this was where my brain went first. Just taking you on a little journey. Join me. Okay, bring snacks, pack a lunch, and let's witness how this nail was not made. At one point, I've Vuitton Teflon matted. I've Teflon matted the background before doing this white gel paint. At one point I thought, is it crystal, what is it called? Those tiny little thingies? Crystal pixie. Remember that? But they're rounded. So then I thought of something else, which we'll do in the next attempt of this. Right, we're going to cure that. And because we've used white gel paint, we're going to chrome over it. I thought this would give me a nice sort of bluey glow, because I saw that some of them had a bluey glow, but on white it kind of went a bit more yellow. But I thought maybe still, once it's got top bits of clear on it, you will catch a bluey bit. There are some bluey bits. I'm just going to wipe up any bits of the chrome that have managed to stick to the Teflon. Or I'm not sure if they've stuck to it. I doubt they've stuck to it, but just instead of, you know, I can't wipe. There might be some stuff that's landed on it, but it's not stuck to it. But I can't just wipe it off because I don't want to wipe it off the white. So I'm just using a brush for that. And then art gel again. Woo! And then we're going to just do something silly, I think. I'm going to just add loads of little beads of this art gel. I should have started, in my head I thought we'll put the big ones down first and then we can do little tiny ones in between. Which is good for when you're adding chunky glitter and doing it bit by bit. But for this, I should have done the tiny ones first, because it's easier to put something on the outside of something tiny than it is to put something tiny in between two big things with gel and a dotting tool. So we're just going to make lots of balls of gel. And after each one, because we want it to stay as humpy, as tall as possible, we're going to push the art gel out the way, give it a flash cure, then move the lamp out the way, bring the art gel back, add another bead, push the art gel out the way, give it a flash cure, then get the lamp out the way, bring the art gel back and do another bead, which is why I've cut to nearly done, because this took a while. But it wasn't an unpleasant while. It was just a while. So I'm going to really, that's a lint wipe really saturated with isopropyl alcohol, just to take off the chrome from any of the white bits that aren't covered by these balls. And then even though the art gel is no wipe, it's not as shiny as top coat. So I'm just slapping on a bit of top coat over the balls. Right. I think if I'd have done a different chrome or something underneath, this could have, I don't know, but I can't get the ball small enough. So this doesn't look anything like it, does it? I mean, texturally, maybe, but she's got some silvery bits in there as well. But then the things are clear. They're clear and silver. I don't know. So I've done another one. And I'm going to do this in sections. So I'm going to add some of the art gel to half of the bottom bit. And then we're going to add a mixture of these crystals, which are like a silvery but have got a blue glow. These are from somewhere that doesn't exist anymore. And then we're also going to add some clear ones. And then I'm also going to add some tiny caviar beads. I've sped it up because, come on now, nobody wants to sit here and watch me add 75,000 crystals. And then wiggle them about, cure that, and move on to the next section. And then we'll do the stripes. When I put the crystals, see, I've put far too many crystals on the bottom, far too many. When I put the crystals on this stripe, I'm going to set one as far over to one side without being ridiculously out of the stripe as possible, and then another one in the other direction, just so we don't end up with a dead straight line. And then we'll add some caviar beads. Again, this is not it. I think there was some kind of chroming. Maybe she's silver. No, that wouldn't work. Did some kind of chrome over the white and added tiny bits of builder gel, or she's got clear rounded crystal. I'm not sure. Are they clear crystals maybe? But these have got facets on, and the ones in the picture were definitely domed. So over the crystals, I'm going to break all the rules, and I'm going to top over the crystals again with the art gel to make them domed. I mean, you can do this with your crystals if you want, but they sparkle when they're not topped because you've got all the facets. Whereas this, they kind of glow more. And you do get a bit of twinkle, but not as much. So that's not it either. Do I put the picture of it next to it? Yeah, it's not it. Because they're clear, but they've got a glow to them, but they're clear. What did she do? If you know her, what is that stuff on it? What is it? Is it tiny round? Is it clear caviar beads? But then they've got a colour glow. I just don't know. I was going to try a couple of different ways and then thought, stop it. So now we're going to do Sabrina Carpenter's stitched Louis Vuitton nails. I'm starting with Shaka. I'm going to do 2 coats of that, which I think actually this is the first attempt, and then the colour changes for the second attempt, and I'll explain why there was a second attempt. So we're taking some burgundy thread, and we're going to cut it into tiny pieces. I was so cack-handed doing this, trying to get them the same size. I was in hysterics just at me trying to do this. I'll speed it up because I thought I'll fold it over, cut it there, and then these bits will be even when I cut.
Here's Mike.
Oh, come on! Oh, when I cut the that was me laughing at myself and then me shouting at the tennis. When I cut, if I fold it over and cut it, then I know that to get the same, you know. Anyway, got a bit stressed out, but in a good way, you know, happy stressed, and managed to cut those. And then we're going to top coat. So the first attempt I base coated here, but we'll learn why that was a bad idea in a minute. So I'm going to top coat this, but don't cure it, because we're going to add our thread straight into that. Yeah, I was definitely being cack-handed. I was filming in the daytime as well, which is not normal for me. I normally film evening, and I'll be up there till like 4 in the morning. So I think the cack-handedness was a sort of a mental thing, you know. I thought this isn't normal for me to be filming now. So we're going to add the V, make sure the point of the V is in the center, you know, lines up with the center of the nail. And then this one here, so this is, you know, if you're painting this as well, same sort of thing. This here is parallel to the right side of the V, but ends in the center again. So that's part of the L. So the top of the L, that bit there, is in line with the center and the point of the V, but is parallel with the line on the right of the V. And then this one here sticks out a bit further on the left of the L to give it a serif. And then we're going to put our little serifs on here. So we want the point of the top of the V to be in the center of the serif. Yeah, and make sure the serifs are flat. Again, we want the middle of the serif to be where the end of the L ends. And then the one on the right of the foot of the L is at an angle, which I didn't do on the first attempt, but that wasn't why it was a first attempt. It was because, yeah, I hadn't checked a picture, but that is an angle that goes parallel again with the others. So we'll cure that, and then we're going to add a dot of art gel, and we're just going to attach a thread, which I was just ballsing up as well, trying to hold it in place and hold the light, but not have it stuck, only have it stuck where it touches the nail and not, you know, anyway, not much of the thread sticking to the nail, just the tiny little end. And then we'll cure it. So that's that done. The reason why there was, because who doesn't want a big bit of thread hanging off their nail, you know? The reason why there was an attempt 1 was because I did it in base coat and then thought, well, the nail's sticky. How do I top it? Tried to top it. That LV's better on the first one, isn't it? Oh, well. Oh, that bit's straight. Tried to top it, but topping thread, no. And that background colour's way off, but that's fine. Topping thread just left you with these little spiky bits on the nail where tiny little bits of fibres were sticking up. So do it in a top coat, and it was definitely in there, wasn't going anywhere. Okay, this one, Cynthia Environment, I don't know. She's from Wicked, isn't she? She's the green lady. I want to do this. They were all different and they were all pretty garish but cool, but that's the one I've picked to do. So we're going to take the strip, which is a red, which is a sort of bit warmer red than the really bright one we used earlier. Then I'm going to take this clear stuff because I want to use a lot of it, and I don't want to use my Madame Glam one up. I want to save it. The Madame Glam one's a bit clearer than this and cures clearer, so I don't want to waste it on something I'm covering up. So I've rolled it into a ball, and then I'm going to give it a little roll to make a little short tic-tac, little sausage. Then I'm going to use this, which is a bit of a folder sheet for, you know, that you slide cards into. I've got my foils in because it's thicker and it wasn't creasing as much as just a little baggy. So I thought we'd get a smoother surface. So I pressed down to get an oval because I did a circle at first and then realised that's not what I want. So I rolled it a bit to a sausage, and now we have an oval. Cure it. Well, there's the circle. Cure it, take the glass and stuff off it, and then cure it a bit more naked. And now we have an oval and not a circle, because I think this is a bag, isn't it? It's like a little handbag. So we'll take Loyal and we will cover the whole thing with that. And then we will cure, maybe do 2 coats depending on how happy you are with the coverage. But don't go too thick to avoid doing a second coat. It's better to do 2 thin coats than 1 thick coat because it might bubble. And I'm going to wipe and buff because we're going to paint some stuff on it. We're going to paint some black on it at some point. And it's hard to see what you're doing painting black. But add into that a shiny white background. I thought, no, let's give ourselves half a chance and wipe and buff this. And then we're going to add the same red at the bottom in a little handbag shape. I have since seen so many more pictures of those nails, only because I googled it, but when I first looked at it, you couldn't see exactly what was going on. And since then I found loads of much clearer pictures after doing this. So it is a bit different, but it does look like the picture I was referencing, but it's a bit different from the others. So we're curing that. Oh my goodness, 52 minutes I've been talking. You still here? Let me know if you're still here. Drop me a little handbag emoji. Is there a handbag emoji? Yes. Any emoji. Drop me your favourite emoji if you're still here. Hopefully there'll be some emojis in the comments. If not, I'll cry myself to sleep. We have cured the red and we're going to do some black stripes using the black gel paint. So there's a few stripes on it, and then in between 2 of the white bits, in between the stripes, there's a thinner sort of pinstripe, but not in between all of them. And the thinner pinstripe on the picture I looked at, not overly neat. Nothing wrong with it, but not completely straight. So we're going to try and do the complete straight. We're going to fail, but we're going to try. So we'll add these, and then we will probably cure. If you're happy with one, half cure it so that if you do want to wipe another one, it will still be there. So we've got all our stripes on, and then we're going to add this. Oh yeah, I remember thinking the stripes on her nails didn't look that neat. Maybe it was just the picture I was looking at, but I wanted to try and do them neat, and then realised can't see what I'm doing because you put your brush down. Where's the line? Which is the line and which is the brush? You know, where's the line, where's the brush? Who knows? They both look the same. And they're not straight at all. But then I thought, well, that's a good thing because the ones in the picture weren't perfect and straight. So we have a free pass. So we'll add that, and then we will cure. We'll give this a full cure because we're going to top it in a sec. All right, come on, woman. Oh, Lord. I don't like to speed up too much because it kind of defeats the point of showing you what I'm doing. But at the same time, hurry up. So we'll top this, and then we will cure that. I'm not going to paint the back because I probably would have just painted it white, and it was clear, and I've painted the front white, so the back looks white already. Huzzah. Then we're going to top the nail while we're topping and cure that. And then we're going to take these clear crystals, which are from Shein or Temu, and those are from Shein or Temu. I can't remember which. I think Temu is this one, and Sheen is the bigger tray. I'm not sure. We're going to take the clear, the red, and some light gold. We're going to, and it looked like there was a heart here. Turns out wasn't a heart, was a circle. Having seen better, clearer pictures since then, but I quite like the heart. So I'm okay with it. Is that okay with you? Thank you. You said no. Thank you anyway. And then we'll cure that, or we'll flash it in place. And then we're going to add this art gel to the bottom, to the red bit. I put far too much on, and it kind of made the gems a bit slippy when I put them on there, because I put too much of this on here, and it sort of surrounds them a bit too much, the gel. But hey ho. So we're going to add a whole bunch of little red crystals there. Thought I'd filled in all the gaps. When editing, realised there's massive gaps. But they're not really noticeable when it's moving around because you just see sparkliness. So we'll cure that. And then it looked like there was a row here of very light gold crystals. So that's what I'm adding. Turns out, having seen a picture since, that you know when you get a string of crystals where they come sort of set in something. Okay, then we're going to go round and add the clear crystals around here. Yeah, you know when they're, you know, like you get it for bedazzling clothes or whatever, like a string of crystals that are all together. They were clear crystals set on a gold, set in gold hinge. What's the bloody word? Base setting support. I'll try and find a picture. So the gold that I was seeing above the red was actually a reflection of the base of the gold from the string of the clear crystals at the top. So that's where, and I do have a string of crystals that are clear set in gold as well. How annoying. But I was just working on what turned out to just be a reflection. But it still looks cute. So we will plonk some art gel on here. Don't worry about putting that art gel all the way to the sides, because it's only going to stick to the center of this disc we've made, because the nail's curved. And that's that. I mean, garish and gaudy, and who's going to wear it? But cool. No? Yeah? Is it cool? I think it's really cool. Let's put it next to the picture. Yeah, see where it looks like there's some pale gold? Nay. It's a blurry as fuck, that picture, so I did the best I could. But I think that looks really cool. Yay! Oh, we're done. That is all of them. Did you enjoy this video? Something different, something that you're unlikely to want to create yourself, but just having a bit of fun. Which one is your favourite? Please let me know which one is your favourite. List them from 1 to, how many are there? 8, if you want. That one on the end, it's nothing like it. I think my favourite is the third one, the Louis Vuitton one. The Sydney Sweeney one's really pretty. And then that big one in the middle, just because look what I did. I did a thing. I hope you like them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Come say hello. I love to hear from you. I appreciate you being here so much. I really do. Don't forget to check out the links and like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.